Game time.
Hey everybody, welcome back to N.T.W. My name is Rob, and yes, it is game time. We are back on World of Warcraft. This is the day before 18.3 drops. I'm not entirely sure what to expect when it does. We are going to run 2 more dungeons today, and on deck we have Zul'Farrak and Stratholme-Service entrance. So that's what we got going on. We are in the final stretch. We have 6 more dungeons, I believe, for maybe 7. There may be upper Blackrock Spire, if I remember right. But we're in the final stretch here of running the vanilla dungeons, and then we move on to Burning Crusade. So, with that being said, we're going to do 2 of the remaining. So let's get started. Alright, this is Stratholme. Unfortunately, it is like all the others. It's one description for all of them. So we'll just go ahead and go through it again. Stratholme was once the jewel of northern Lordaeron, but today is remembered for its harrowing fall to ruin. It was here that Prince Arthas turned his back on the noble paladin, Uther Lightbringer, slaughtering countless residents believed to be infected with the horrific plague of the undeath. Ever since, cursed Stratholme has been marred by death, betrayal, and hopelessness. Let's get started. Okay, first up is Baroness Anastari. While she lived, Anastari took what she wanted, no matter the cost. Death has done little to change that. Her soul ripped from her body, Anastari became a banshee, and she has abandoned her love of material trinkets and favor for possessions of far more sinister kind. Baroness Anastari takes control of a random player, increasing their maximum health by 1,036 and damage done by 100%. The target is controlled for 2 minutes or until they reach 50% remaining health. Banshee's Wail, inflicting shadow damage to our current target. Silence, she silence all players within 101 yards. And Banshee's Curse. Banshee Anastari causes all players within 101 yards, reducing their chance to hit by 35% for 12 seconds. Okay, here we got Malachi the Pallid. Malachi was among the first to join the cult of the damned, showing tremendous aptitude and harnessed the chill of the grave. Driven by an insatiable desire for power, the mage fervently hones his skills in dark magic to prepare for when he will be remade as a lich. Drain life. Malachi drains life from his current target, inflicting shadow damage every second for 5 seconds and healing himself for the amount of damage inflicted. Frost armor. Encases himself in a layer of frost, increases his armor, slows melee attackers' movement speed by 30%, and increases time between their attacks by 20. Ice Tomb. He entombs his current target in an ice, stunning them for 6 seconds. And Frostbolt. Inflicts frost damage to the current target, reducing their movement speed by 50% for 4 seconds. Okay, as we go out of order here, we are on our next boss. This is Magistrate Barthilus. Barthilus was among the innocents purged by Arthas and his forces during the culling of Stratholme. The Lich King eventually raised the former magistrate from the graveyard and commanded the hulking undead monstrosity to guard his ruined home. Crowd Pummel. Magistrate Barthilus pummels all players within 101 yards, inflicting damage, interrupting spell casting for 4 seconds, and knocking them back. Furious Anger. Barthilus enrages, increasing physical damage and melee attack speed for 1 minute. The effect stacks up to 25 times. The Mighty Blow inflicts physical damage to his current target, knocking them back. And Draining Blow drains his health from his current target, inflicting shadow damage and healing himself for the amount of damage dealt. Okay, we are on to Narub Inkan. Aken. Narub was a fearsome warrior during the War of the Spider. Ultimately, she succumbed to her wounds and was raised into undeath as an obedient minion of the Scourge. Now the Nerubian guards a ziggurat in Stratholme as fiercely as she defended her home and life. Narub raises a scarab from the dead to aid him in battle. Crypt Scarabs. Narub sends several scarabs at the current target, inflicting physical damage. Pierce Armor. Narub pierces the current target's armor, reduces their armor by 50%. And Encasing Webs. Encases a player in webs, immobilizing them and increasing the time between their melee attacks by 100% for 5 seconds. Alright, this is Ramstein the Gorger. Ramstein is one of the Scourge's most infamous abominations, a horror stitched together from numerous corpses and empowered by the ceaseless hunger. This monster committed unspeakable atrocities on countless innocent souls when Scourge forces overran Stratholme. Ramstein the Gorger inflicts physical damage to his current target, knocking them back and stunning them for 4 seconds. Trample. Ramstein inflicts physical damage to all players within 101 yards, and Flurry. Ramstein increases the attack speed by 30% for the next 3 attacks after landing a critical strike. Alright, from Ramstein to our final boss here, this is Lord Arius Rivendare. Arius falls from grace with precipitous, failing to exact retribution for his corrupted father. Baron Rivendare, the former paladin, was not granted peace in death. He was tragically reforged into an instrument of the Scourge, the evil he had once sworn to defeat. Lord Rivendare raises 6 mindless skeletons to fight for him in battle. Death Pact. Rivendare sacrifices any mindless skeletons remaining after 12 seconds, healing himself for the remaining health. Unholy Aura inflicts 424 shadow damage every 2 seconds. Shadow Bolt hurls a bolt of dark magic at a player, inflicting shadow damage. Mortal Strike strikes his current target, inflicting physical damage, reducing the effectiveness of any healing by 25%. And Cleave, inflicting physical damage to them and their closest ally. Well, that's going to do it for Stratholme-Service entrance. This is the end of Stratholme, so we have now completed that and we got the achievement. So we're going to get queued up and get ready for the next dungeon. Alright, welcome to Zul'Farrak. Zul'Farrak was once a shining jewel of Tanarus, ferociously protected by the cunning Sand Fury tribe. Despite the trolls' tenacity, this isolated group was forced to surrender much of its territory throughout history. Now it appears that Zul'Farrak's inhabitants are creating a horrific army of undead trolls to conquer the surrounding region. Other disturbing rumors tell of an ancient creature sleeping within the city, one that, if awakened, will rain death and destruction across Tanarus. Just a fair warning, in this dungeon, these are not some of my cleanest pulls whatsoever. I'm not sure what happened, to be honest. I was having a hard time maintaining aggro and pulling what I needed to pull in the order. Also, I also struggle with, I had a DC in this dungeon. Luckily I didn't get kicked before I came back, but I do think we did end up skipping a boss though, or I logged back in just in time for the kill. So be the struggles of online gaming. I've had internet issues all day, so it is what it is. Let's get in it. Alright, this is our first boss. This is N.T.W. N.T.W. prefers his Solithus Basilisk, strong and ruthless. He treats these scaled beasts like family, and he is known to strike down anyone, even fellow trolls, who harm his precious children. Rather than give his opponents a proper burial, N.T.W. allows the Basilisk to feast on whoever dare crosses him. Healing Wave, heals an ally. Healing Ward, summons a greater healing ward at his feet for 30 seconds. The greater healing ward heals N.T.W.'s allies every 3 seconds. Earth Grab Totem, Earth Shock, Chain Lightning, Healing Wave, and then Servants of N.T.W. When he reaches 75% and 25% remaining health, he summons a Servant of N.T.W. to assist him in battle. Okay, it was at this point we had our DC. This is Theka the Martyr. Long ago, the Martyr, Theka, was slain in the brutal war between the... I can't pronounce that troll name. Or, no, it's the bug name, Korgi, and the trolls. Zul'Farrak still stands between the brave sacrifice. Even in death, he maintains a virtue over his beloved city and is said to that the dozens of insectoid warriors who killed him were cursed to live as mindless scarabs, scuttling about the martyr's side. This is Witch Doctor Zamra, the powerful Boswandi watches over the spirits of the dark spirit trolls, but many of the Sand Fury's tribe's fallen members are offered no such protection after death. These tortured spirits obey Zamra, a cruel witch doctor who uses his dark magic to force the city's dead into unending service. Awaken Zul'Farrak zombie. He raises a Zul'Farrak zombie from a nearby grave. Ward, Witch Doctor Zamra summons a ward of Zamra at his feet. The ward summons a skeleton of Zamra every 5 seconds. Healing Wave heals an ally. Shadow Bolt hurls a bolt of dark magic at a player, inflicting shadow damage. And Shadow Bolt Volley hurls missiles of dark magic, inflicting shadow damage to all players within 301 yards. Okay, we've come up on Necrum and Saziz. Necrum, Gut Chewer, has mysteriously lived well past his natural life, but his decaying body remains strong enough to aid Saziz. Together, these two trolls have gathered sacrifices to the mythic beast of Gazrilla, who slumbers at the city's heart. Many troll followers eagerly await the terrifying creature's awakening, and they will do anything to see the ritual through. Necra Guts Chewer plagues a player, inflicting nature damage and additional nature damage every 3 seconds for 30 seconds. Shadow Bolt. This is the Shadow Priest Saziz. Shadow Bolt hurls a bolt of dark magic at a player, inflicting shadow damage. Psychic Scream causes all players within 81 yards to flee for 4 seconds. Renews an allies, healing them for 3 seconds. And heal. Heals an ally. Okay, this is Chief Ukros Sandscalp. I don't know how to spell these troll names are screwing me up. Chief Sandscalp is obsessed with restoring his tribe to his former glory. He raised on stories of a time when trolls lorded over their ancient lands without interference from goblins, gnomes, pirates, ogres, and other foreign interlopers. Sandscalp has called on his trusted comrade Rizlu to help him begin a new chapter in Sand Fury history, in the only way their tribe knows how, with swift and blinding violence. Chief Sandscalp inflicts physical damage to all players in front of him. Cleave physical damage to his current target and the nearest ally. And Chief Sandscalp frenzies, increasing its attack speed by 60% for 2 minutes. Technically, this is the last boss, but there's actually Gazrilla who we get to go fight next. Alright, we are now on our last boss, and as you can see, this is a bad pull on my end. I end up pulling this mob right next to Gazrilla. Legends has it that Gazrilla was an adored pet of the old gods, or even a demigod in his own right. Whatever the truth is, the Sand Fury trolls have worshipped this monstrous hydra for thousands of years. Ever wary of the beast's icy wrath, the trolls will only rouse Gazrilla when they have plentiful sacrifices to sate the ravenous creature's appetite. First move is Icicle. Gazrilla shoots a bolt of ice, inflicting frost damage to a player and slowing their movement speed by 50% for 10 seconds. Freeze Solid. It freezes a player, stunning them into inflicting frost damage every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. For 6 seconds. Gazrilla Slam. Gazrilla inflicts physical damage to all players within 201 yards, knocking them back. Knocking them back or knocking them straight up into the air about 100 yards. Either way, you take full damage on the way down, so you got to make sure your health is up when he does this. Alright, technically that is now the end of Zul'Farrak, so we have now completed that dungeon as well. There we go, guys. We've got 2 more dungeons ran today. We're pushing closer to the end. That's 2, I believe, out of 7 remaining. Maybe just the 6. I guess we'll figure it out. But on the next episode, we'll have Black Rock Depths, the Detention Center, and Sunken Temple. And it's nice that we got Stratholme taken care of. That's all done. So that was only the 2 parts. Black Rock will have 2 parts. I can't remember if Black Rock Spire has 2 parts or not, or if it's just the 1. It may be just the 1. So, and if that's the case, we only have the 4 episodes now remaining. So, I hope you guys learned something on why we're taking on these dungeons and who these guys are that we're fighting. So, if you guys like what you see and you want to see more, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. Share this video around and leave a comment down in the comment section. And don't forget to hit that little bell icon so you get notified every time a new episode comes online. Again, my name is Rob. Thank you guys very much for watching. And always remember, take care of yourselves.